WATV Birmingham.
My bad, sorry.
Serving the community for almost 50 years. Here we go. We are V94.9 WATV, and the V stands for variety. Hey, let me reintroduce the moment of ladies that live in the truth. The reason why we back to go through the roots is later on when we back, baby. Get down, we ain't never gonna stop. It's so we've been rocking since school to hip hop. Keep it locked, cause every show is full of vital information. No dragging down the butt, you keep a fighting conversation. No doubt, she guaranteed to show up, show out. So many different angles, sometimes it's what it's so about. You know we finna go up, touching on the topics you need to know about. And plus, we need to hear from the city, so pull your phone out. The line's open, the mission, the whole goal is to keep your mind open. And your blind moment, oh, it's that moment we all been waiting on. Rejuvenated, rebooted, hope we ain't taking long. Award winner, I think it's time that we make it known. Ain't nobody rocking on the radio, so I legend, but we about to take the show worldwide. We gon' rap. All you gotta do is relax and get back. This lady who gon' break you off, kick it. You know that's bigger than me. They call me savage, and I've been at it a minute. So I'm guaranteed to show nigga that like I was waiting for. Here we go. No question about it. We in the door, so you can turn up the volume and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the show, V94.9 WATV. Hello, hello, hello. Lady Wu is in here with you. Happy Sunday. Wrapping up a Juneteenth weekend, a big weekend, a long week. I'm happy about the week. It was long though. I ain't gonna lie, it was a long week, but it was a good week. And we're here with you this Sunday. After, did we come last week? Nope, it was Father's Day last week. So that's why it seems like it was so long ago. So we're happy to be back. Thanks for having us back. Thanks for joining us. Crew, who's in the building?
What's going on? It's your boy Reddy Eddie.
Hey, what's up, B-Ham? It's your boy J Hat.
Birmingham, I am attorney Kristen French.
Yes. Hello, everyone. And we have special guests in studio. A huge show tonight. A major, massive show. What other descriptive word? I can't use obliteration yet. That doesn't fit here. But I'm going to use it like 2,000 times. But it didn't go there. So I can't say it yet. But we are about to obliterate the radio tonight with all of this great information. We have some invites for you. We have information. We have conversation. So if you know of any of this stuff we're talking about, the phone lines are open throughout the show. 994-8949. And of course, you can come in on the live stream that you're on. If I'm not saying your name, I may not know that you're watching. You may be watching from another stream. But right now, I see in the comments, Rod, J. Anchor, and Robert Thomas. So good evening to both of you. Everybody else check in. Let us know who's watching and who's listening. We have special guests in the studio. Let's get straight to our guest this evening. Crystal and Leslie, I'm going to get you to introduce yourselves professionally, but these are people in Birmingham. We know each other. Like, we really know each other. We be knowing each other's sisters and brothers and mamas and cousins and children. We know each other. But when you come to the show, most times it's about something professional. So let's get professional. Hi.
How are you all?
We're
Hello,
great.
Birmingham.
Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Crystal Mullen Johnson. I am a licensed therapist, a business owner, the owner of Strive Counseling Services, and the president and founder of Nurture of Alabama. So I'm so happy to be here with my board member, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I am Leslie Smith.
Mm-hmm. Leslie Smith.
Thank y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
I am, as Crystal stated, the vice president of Nurture of Alabama's board of directors. I am also a software trainer with a local software company and a active member of the community.
Very much so. Ladies, I'm happy to have both of you here. And you are here in the capacity of making the city and the people aware of mental health treatment resources, and partnerships in the city of Birmingham.
Right. Well, this month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. You were just talking about all of the months. Also Men's Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Birmingham and Nurture of Alabama, We're also partnering with Birmingham Park and Rec Board to host a citywide mental health day at Lynn Park on June 27th. Again, June 27th at Lynn Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it is free.
Yes.
This is a great event. We want children, adults to come out. Resources will be available. We are experiencing a mental health crisis in the state of Alabama. And the goal of this event is to improve accessibility, meaning to provide you access to resources.
Yes.
And having said that, we will have 75 community partners present
Ooh.
on that day. For example, one of those partners would be, or several of those partners would be All Kids, which is important, Alabama Department of Mental Health, Addiction Prevention Coalition, the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, Oasis Counseling, and so many more. So again, we want to improve accessibility and destigmatize mental health, and we will do so by bringing in expert speakers. We have our keynote speaker out of Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh.
Montolito Irby. He's with the Juvenile Department of Justice. He's going to give us an impact speech on that day. So he's just one of the speakers that we'll have present. We will hear from Mayor Whitfin as well, and we're going to have some other events lined up. So I'm going to let Leslie kind of talk a little bit about those events.
I'm excited about not only the 75 resources that we'll have available, with maybe tables all over Lynn Park. This event is getting bigger and bigger every year. So that excites me.
That is exciting.
But we'll also have depression screenings. We'll have mental health consultations by some of our practitioners. We'll have free chair massages. So come out and relax just a little bit for during your lunch, as well as we'll have boot camp exercises and some instructors that are showing you some great ways to relax via yoga or just some type of physical fitness. And we'll also have, and not only dealing with your mental health, thinking about what deals with your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
We have glucose and blood pressure screenings as well. And so I think it's going to be a great opportunity for people to come get the information. We have to know the information. So
Yeah.
I wanted to insert, we're going to have Dr. Bivens there.
Mhm.
He's known as the oncology guru.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he will be on site and there will be a meet and greet. Guys, please come out and learn about prostate care. So important. Leslie shared those great events, but if you all are interested in coming out and participating in that boot camp class, be out there ready to exercise. It will be an intro to boot camp, and the yoga instructor, they'll start around between 10 and 11. So make
Okay.
sure you arrive on time for that. We're going to have food trucks. We are going to have line dancing. We will have a DJ on site. So it's going to be a family fun event, yet you will be able to walk away with resources to help you improve your mental health. This event has grown over the past 4 years.
It
This is the
has.
4th year. We started out with about 30 community partners, and we have 75 now.
That's what's
So
up.
it really
Yeah.
speaks to the collective efforts of organizations, hospitals, and private practices like Vital Care
Mm-hmm.
coming, collaborating with us to share these resources. And we so appreciate your commitment to the city of Birmingham, because it requires us to work together to help the city thrive, to heal. So transformation from trauma to a healed, thriving community. That's what
love
we're
it.
focusing on.
So when you talk about the city or just people, period, being we're in a mental health crisis, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is there are people that lack access to services
Mhm.
because they don't have coverage. Of course, the Affordable Health Care Act, has been provided for those to afford treatment, but still there are people that are lacking coverage. I
Yeah.
mean, whether it's Medicare or Medicaid coverage. So that's what I mean by that. And also, although there are services available, some people are unlikely to receive those services because they don't know where to go.
Right.
They don't know where to go. The hospitals are crowded. I just had a conversation with a healthcare provider about that last night. That is problematic. So that alone creates a crisis. And then our youth are suffering. They are not receiving adequate treatment, perhaps because they are not talking about mental health. Why? Because of the stigma, because the parents aren't having the conversations about it. But in short, those are some reasons why we are experiencing a crisis, specifically in Alabama.
Well, accessibility to care. And then at this event, people will be able to meet so many. Like the flyer is so lit. I was like, I love to see it because people swear, I don't know who to call. It's nobody here that does that. Oh no, there are several people, several organizations. Yeah, that look like us and will be in one place. Like, go do it, go get it. And then it's not just the mental health, or is it mental health and its effects on the rest of our bodies as well?
Right, because the mental and the physical is married. So if one goes unchecked, the other will suffer as well. So it's a no-brainer to bring practitioners from both fields together and have enriching conversations, impactful conversations to do impactful work in our community. I think, you know, people feel more comfortable when they're able to put a face with a name. Just like I just met Eddie Richardson. I've heard
Sharp.
I'm sorry. Not
No problem. You
but
just
Eddie
met him.
Sharp. But that's right. I did just meet him, but I've heard of him being a
Yes.
therapist. But today we made a connection.
For
So
sure.
those things really matter. And now I know, okay, I've met him. Definitely, he's someone that I also can refer to. We need to see more men in the field,
Yes.
doing the work. So I appreciate all that you're doing.
Awesome. In studio, Eddie, what you got? Because this is where we thrive in this area.
It's a lot of men needed in the field. It's like, what I'm glad to see is that there are a lot of men reaching out to me for services. Now, what they do is they add me on Facebook, and I add them because it's the radio. And then I guess when they get the courage up, they be like, "Hey, somebody gave me your information for therapy." But I'm just
But
glad
however
to
they
see,
get to it.
well, I'm glad to see the engagement with therapy. Clearly, the conversations in their families and their communities are going on about them going to therapy. When people know a male therapist, they send them to me. I have a network of male therapists because, men are going to want to see men, and so I'm just glad to see that shift happening as far as men go.
For sure. So, men, yes, but this is a overall city of Birmingham event, right?
Correct. It is an overall city of Birmingham event, so it doesn't matter your race, your gender. Everyone is invited. Everyone is invited. There will be opportunities for everyone to receive resources. So again, there will be opportunities for everyone to receive resources. So please, please show up. Don't be shy. Bring a friend. This is the best time to do your mental health check-in with your strong friends,
Okay.
your strong family members. Hey, let's go hang out at Lynn Park on Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to learn about mental health, to access resources. So we'll know how to support each other. So we'll have the resources to support, oneself if, you are in need. So those things are very important.
For sure. Most people's jobs give them an hour for mental health care. So, like, that may be an opportunity for you to take your break or take a break and go to the park, get the resources, meet the people. Most times when you go to a fair like this, you can pick up swag and stress balls and T-shirts and all types of stuff. Everything that you can think of as far as mental health is concerned for resources, you can get it on Friday.
Correct.
10 to 2, rain or shine.
Yeah, well,
Because how it is
now,
in the
10
city.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you, want to learn more about the event, please follow our Instagram page.
And stay connected.
It's nurturebham.com, and it's nurturebham.com. And our website is nurturebham.com. So we're having the event. We're sketched to have it. It's supposed to be a hot, beautiful day. And when you come out, make sure you're hydrated. Bring water with you. Dress prepared to have a great time. Wear something very comfortable. Meet some great people that really care about your well-being. So often we feel we don't have a sense of community, and there are people that are actually there to support you. So this is a great day to connect with people, to learn about mental health, to learn about health, how to manage your health, and to ask for help. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Because some of us are not, but it's okay to ask for help.
And there's such a great space, a space created to ask for help. So if you wake up Friday morning and you ain't feeling it, go to the park. or if I haven't been able to find a therapist or a psychiatrist, I didn't want to look anywhere. I just want to walk up to a table and meet somebody. This would be the event to do that. And the clinicians are expecting you. Like, this is what they're going to be there for. So get those details again. Where, what time, what to bring, do they have to register? Any of that?
No, you don't have to
None of
worry
that.
about registering. This is a stress-free event. Again, it's at Lynn Park on Friday, this upcoming Friday, June 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
It is free for the community. Food trucks will be there on site starting at 11. Line dancing. So, you want to do boots on the ground. So bring your fans.
Please, definitely.
So we're gonna have some fun line dancing, and I just can't wait to meet you. I will be on stage. Please say hello. Let me know you heard us on the radio station. I love the great work V94.9 is doing, raising awareness about events that we're having in the community and connecting practitioners with you all. That is very important. So thank you all. I mean, that's a great deal because this is a part of mental health awareness.
For sure. And we are happy and always honored to do that. Before you guys get out of here, Nurture Birmingham. So you're here to invite people out to this day, but this is like a lifetime. We do this work every day. Tell us a little bit about what Nurture is and how, what services do you provide?
So great. So Nurture of Alabama, we are a mental health nonprofit. We provide counseling services. So that is one of our services that we provide. We provide mental health support groups, and we have a community mental health awareness initiative. And this mental health event is a part of that. We host free, I said, monthly mental health awareness learning sessions. We were initially having them at the downtown public library. But of course, COVID shift the way that, we deliver services. But because we are Nurture of Alabama, we were able to broaden our reach.
Okay.
So doing so, we were able to launch the initiative virtual. And so that's what we're doing. So our next session actually is in July, and we have Dana Purdue. She is actually a board member, and she is a licensed therapist. She will be discussing trauma. So you can register for these events on our website. And again, that's www.nurture, NURTUREBHAM.com. And also you can register for these events on Eventbrite. They run throughout the year, every month. So we're doing impactful work. It is very important to me. This initiative, or this nonprofit, I should say, derived from me doing the work in my for-profit Strive Counseling. And I recognized that there was a need in marginalized communities. And we wanted to make an impact and provide affordable services at no cost, or even if you pay on a sliding scale at a very low cost.
Right.
Because I recognized that there was a need. And I also recognized that, there was a stigma that we really needed to have these conversations in the community to educate our community so we can heal. Everyone deserves a chance to heal,
for sure,
and to be cared for.
Nurture Birmingham. And so, Leslie, you are on the board. Like, what, I know that you do a lot of things, but you made time and room for this. Why?
Well, because one, in my past, or just years ago, I became a certified grief recovery specialist. So grief counseling was a thing I've always been passionate about. And I'm always trying to make sure I'm available to provide those services, whether it is in a structured setting or just being present for people who are going through grief. And so recognizing that grief counseling was so much needed for myself and my community, that partnering with Crystal and her initiative, I just knew the importance of it, because we need that service in our community, because we don't know how to deal with so many emotions that we deal with.
Yes.
And so knowing that there was a need there and wanting to be a part of this mission, and realizing that I can play a role in what my services are, and be able to also do a virtual session on grief triggers or anything resolving around. I'm focused on grief. That's it. I'm not a licensed therapist. Just focused on grief.
Certified, yeah.
But just being able to serve in that area, I knew it was going to be a benefit, because it benefited me.
For
and
sure.
having those services for myself.
And like you said, it's so necessary. We all experience grief.
And so, yeah.
Like, yeah, like, yeah. That's something that we all experience at some point, some kind of way. So to have somebody that is passionate about making sure that people are able to heal and understand their processes with grief is so important. So we appreciate Nurture's work. We appreciate that work. And we're looking forward to sharing with you guys on Friday. Give us that information again.
Friday, June 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lynn Park. We are between the City Hall and the Jefferson County Courthouse.
Yeah.
That whole open area, you should be able to park in the Botwell or any of the side streets. It should be accessible for you for parking. Food trucks will start serving at 11.
Okay.
So if you need to get there for lunch, get there closer to 11.
Yeah, perfect Friday lunch situation. You can keep listening to the Midday Fun Shui and vibe with me while you make your way to the park to get that information about the city of Birmingham's Mental Health Awareness Day. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to this week. Indeed. Anytime. The people need to know, and if they need to know, and it's vital, it comes here. So thank you all for coming and sharing some of your Sunday with us. As we transition, because there's so much happening in the world, and who knows what's going to happen by Friday. So people might be lined up around the block trying to meet somebody. The way things are looking, folks don't know what to do. They don't know who to talk to. So, hey, Friday might jump, and it should, because we're about to get into those things now. You're listening to the Abby Award-winning show Vital right here on V94.9 WATV, where we talk about everything. And tonight we have a political candidate in the building who is looking to make a difference in his community. And it's another neighborhood not too far from the radio station. District 9 candidate is in the building, or is making his way to the studio. Is he here?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, let's make some little transitions and get him on in here. District 9. That's like Pratt. That's like down other deep parts of Ansley. He's gonna tell us about the area as soon as we get this transition situated. Okay. The number is 994-8949 so that you can get in on this conversation. 994-8949. And you can call in with your questions, with your thoughts, with any suggestions that you may have for that area or for whatever. Like when you're talking about the city council, we're talking about how the whole city is impacted by somebody's vote and somebody's voice. So you have to have the right representative in each seat. Mr. Franklin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lady Woo.
Hey, welcome. Man, we've been seeing you for years.
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here. I was thinking when I was sitting out there, I hate I have to run to get on your show. I should have been on your show. As many functions and as many things that we've done in the community over the years.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know, I could have sworn AEA have been on these waves at some point. No?
No.
Make me go back.
I'm AFT, but you're right.
AFT,
yeah.
School stuff, right?
Yeah.
Alabama Federation
I
of
remember,
Teachers.
I'm not sure if maybe we have.
It seems like, we've been doing this for almost
a while.
2 decades.
Yeah.
So you may have forgotten, so have I, but you're here tonight in a new capacity, which is fitting. Like when you think about people who are running for political offices and ready to represent the people, you have always been one of those people.
Right.
So what made now be the time? I'm gonna do it now.
Well, it really started talking to the youth.
Okay.
And when all the violence was going on, I was really listening to the youth and senior citizens. And when they were saying they were afraid to come outside. And I'm always a solution-driven person.
Okay.
And I started thinking, what can we do to be the solution? And I just noticed that I have a different type of mindset than many of our politicians.
Okay.
I'm an advocate for the community. I've always been. So this is natural to me. So I'm not one of those people that's running for office that's going to talk about the people that's in office. I thank them for their service, but I believe and know that I can do better.
Okay.
Because I have a different mindset. I just going to start District 9. You were saying where it starts at.
Yeah.
It starts 65 when you see Fountain Heights, Druid Hills, where you see Uptown. It used to be in District 5. goes all the way to Birmingham. A lot of people don't know it. Dolomite, Wylam, I call it. It's one side of N, so that's District 8. The other side is District 9.
Okay.
I grew up actually by council school. That's the other reason. My great grandparents moved to Birmingham. Worked. My great grandmother, Marcel Dansback, started her own. She was actually, I think, one of the first African American females. She owned her own beauty salon in downtown Ensley. Miss Marcel Dansby, late Marcel Dansby.
Okay.
But growing up over there and seeing that area, it's like we were never there. They tore the houses down. There was a promise made they were going to build those houses back. In the Pratt City area, that entire area, we know that in 2011 the tornadoes hit. I was on the ground then. I heard the things that was supposed to happen, and it's never happened. I talked big about One Pratt Park, and I want everybody to listen when I say I'm solution driven. One Pratt Park was built. It looks nice, but it wasn't finished, and it was not funded the way it should have been funded. If you see the renderings of One Pratt Park, if you just look it up on your phone, it's nothing that it's supposed to be. That it was supposed to be. If you go out there now, you see the little sprinklers. The water has never ran in the sprinklers. But my point of why parks are important, I remember 15, 20 years ago, Crestwood and Avondale, they were struggling. The first thing they did, they invested in their parks. When they invested in their parks, you immediately saw a huge change. And look at what we have today with that area booming. So I tell people we have to finish One Pratt Park, and we have to finish projects on the western side of Birmingham.
So just finish products on the west side, period. But definitely One Pratt Park being a priority for you in that district.
Yes.
What is that connection about the people in parks? Because I would have thought if you do something, I don't know what else it could have been, but not the park. I wasn't thinking that. So tell me.
Well, the other thing is you take of how our communities are built. Birmingham, when it was booming, we had swimming pools. I used to be the City of Birmingham swim team coach. A lot of people don't know it. So I've just been letting these conversations go on with people who don't know anything about swimming. And we have to take the politics out of the swimming. When I coached that swim team, and it was ran by Adolphus Williams, Chief, and Faye Farmer, they led us, and the politicians, what they did, the city council, I rolled in the mayors just to put money in parks and rec. But we ran that thing so well. We had our own cleaning crew. We had made sure every pool was ready before Memorial Day. We opened Memorial Day weekend, we closed, and then we opened back up when school got out. Majority of the lifeguards were school teachers. We trained them how to swim. The thing is that I tell people that's sad is that Adolphus Williams is still the only African American. If you go to the videos of Red Cross and Jeff Ellis, he was a trainer, a national trainer, the only African American on the videos. He's still living in his community. I'm saying all that to say a solution about the pools is not that we need lifeguards, because you don't have lifeguards because you got professional lifeguards. Then you have your seasonal lifeguards.
Yeah.
And this is a seasonal job. This is not a permanent job. So most of the people that you see working at the Crossplex, I work with them. Some of them, one of them actually was one of my swim team coaches. The person they just named, two of the people, they work with me at the pools that are over now. The director of the swim pools before was Leonard May. I taught his daughter how to swim. They was on my swim team. My point is, you have a lot of people that are left that know what needs to be done to open all these swimming pools. You may say, Richard, why is that important? It also had a key to the rec during the summertime. The rec centers need to be fully funded as well. When I was working, every rec center had the same programs. Right now, anybody listening, they know if you live in Fountain Heights, McAlpine, Howard, Sanford, Sandusky is not even open. We have to make sure we have a true plan for all our rec centers.
Hey, man. Hey, man. How old are you?
44.
Where you sound like you're about 72.
No, I just been
experience and
involved.
Involvement for sure.
Yeah.
And that is what political people sound like in my ears. When when you speak about Birmingham, you need to really speak about Birmingham and about its history in every decade, every generation. Right. So I like that you know that those pieces and that you've actually been a part of those things.
Right.
So when you say, hey, I'm running for District 9 City Council and I want people to know me and know that I'm solution focused, what is your main thing? Like the main thing that has to happen for District 9 is?
Well, the first thing, you got to have hope. District 9 is the part of Birmingham that's lost the most population. It's been through the tornadoes. So walking, I made a vow, I'm walking, try to knock on everybody's door, talk to them, let them meet me, let them understand that I care. Once I provide hope, I also got to let them understand my slogan is we deserve better. You've heard a lot of people say it, but I'm not saying in a negative connotation against the people that's in office, because sometimes when you don't work together collectively, things don't get done. But when you bring everybody here together, I'm one of those people that believe that actually it was just done. A couple of weeks ago, you saw the district that Daryl O'Quinn is in Valley Rabbit. They had an issue with flooding in one of their parks. So what they did is they used their opera money to work together to fix the flood. So when people ask me, they go back and forth about what did they do with this money. What I tell people that I would have did something totally different because my infrastructure is different from what their infrastructure is. We have to do something about fixing our roads. That is the number one issue that I've been hearing, overgrown lots. We have to have a plan and we have to execute that plan. We have to work with who's ever mayor. It needs to be well known. It also has to be a collective group from the western side of Birmingham. When you hit west of 65 and you come west, you see a huge traumatic difference in our community. It's been going that way for a while. I often tell people our kids are visual, and people don't think about this. Our kids, a lot of them feel like they've been trapped and it's hopeless. When you get off some of the major exits in my district, you get off Arkadelphia and you turn right, and it used to be a Popeyes. It's closed. There's a Chevron and Shell to the left and right. There used to be a Marathon. It's closed. You go on down. We just opened up a Travel Express, but it used to be a Pilot. You go on down. We had a BBA Compass Bank is closed. You go on down. You have East Thomas Apartments is closed. And I tell people you stop right there because you start to get depressed. You see what's going on. You go down Finley. You go on down. We used to have a McDonald's. And I tell this story. People laugh at me. Me and my wife, we went on a Friday because we love to get it was a cheeseburger, chicken McNugget meal for the kids they wanted. That's why we would reward them. Well, we went on that Monday. It was knocked down and closed. It's like it was never there. You know, you get back on the interstate and you get off Lord Knoll and you go to your right. Because you go to your left, you're in Fairfield. But you go to the right, a lot of people don't know. That's Fairfield. And you go on down, you got Wylam, you got Ensley. But the sad part, you used to have a Burger King, a McDonald's, a Subway. You used to have Wingo's, Taco Bell, and a Church's Chicken.
Bell used to jump Church's McDonald's, but they had worked at the McDonald's.
And the reason I'm saying this, now I'm going to follow it. And I brought up all that, and people say, hey, that's the problem. Okay, now this is the solution.
Okay.
This is what people don't know, don't realize, is that it's not just a city of Birmingham problem, not just a District 9 problem. We have when you get off that exit and go to the right, Fairfield, the Burger King, and the Subway used to be in Fairfield. Then the McDonald's and Burger King. Do you know that to this day, nobody from the city of Birmingham and Fairfield have talked about working together and make sure we put some things right there? I've already started that process, a simple conversation. People may think that may not go anywhere, but if we have not had conversation and it affects two cities and it sits right there, we don't know. But what does it say to the children that live on that side of Fairfield and the kids that live in Wylam and that part of Ensley? But also, if you even think about the Crossplex, I'm going to talk about the Elephant and Ramsey McCormick. Even though the Crossplex is not in my district, guess what?
What?
We own it, and we can get more tax dollars for this whole area if we finish putting everything that needs to be in it. If you go to the front side of the Crossplex, there is a picture that shows everything that's supposed to be there. I'm straightforward. If we can do it for the other side of town, if we can open up an amphitheater in less than a year, I think it may have been a year. I'm gonna give them a year.
13 months.
They've got it done. Why are we not doing it in our area? When it comes to Ramsey McCormick, I was born in 1981. Ramsey McCormick was bought for $1 from the city of Birmingham in 1983. Do y'all realize that since 1983, we've been kicking that can down the street with investors? And my great-grandmother that I spoke of, Marcel Dansby, where the volcano sits, that was where her beauty salon was. When I was a little boy, we used to see this big building, and it was the only building in Ensley that had nothing in it. I want everybody to understand what I just said. When I was a young boy in Ensley, all those buildings were filled up, and the only building that was vacant was a building that the city of Birmingham owned, which was Ramsey McCormick. Now we're to the point where you say, Richard, what's the solution? We're going to put that historical plaque up. If it's not anything is being built, I've already talked with a lot of the business owners that are in the lawsuit, and we have to have a solution. They are 100% correct. I want everybody that lives in that area to also understand when you zero a business owner out, that means your property value dropped in that area, the people that live over there. So people are literally trapped and they're not getting the best for their investments. See, Richard is very intentional and very solution driven. We have to change these things because it was happening in Crestwood and Avondale.
It wouldn't be happening.
It wouldn't be happening.
Oh, all right then. Well, okay. I'm going to put a pin in all of that right there. We're going to fold that together, put a pin there. and listen to the people. So 994-8949 is the number. If you want to get in on what you're hearing, ask Mr. Franklin any questions. He's running for Birmingham City Council, District 9. Even in studio, you all heard anything or are thinking anything, jump in. I like when people know what they're talking about when they have personal experiences. I'm a narrative person. Give me the narrative that you know. Don't come telling me something that you Googled. Tell me what you know. You did that. You're doing it. Wendy, you were leaning in.
It's just so much to weigh in on when it comes to what the city is doing, what they have done, and what they haven't done. I'm not as knowledgeable as I should be about it, so I try not to speak on what I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I do know is a lot of these buildings and like the amphitheater and places like that, the city receives kickbacks for putting these places and getting them up and getting them functional because those events would bring money to the city. So I know they are more invested and interested in bringing event centers here because it brings money into the city. As far as the other cities where they aren't investing in, I don't think, and it shouldn't be this way. But if it's not going to bring the city money, I don't really think they're really interested in redeveloping these places because they already see it as poverty-stricken areas and nobody's really moving in. You have developers, they might be investing in properties and houses, but we talked about that on the show recently. They invest in these properties and then they leave them.
Yeah, or either don't even come.
They don't maintain them. They don't take care of them. So it's like they're waiting for these places to just fall off the map so they can come in and redevelop them and put what they want there and drive everyone else out. But while the people are still fighting for those areas, they're not going to invest in them.
Yeah. So business ownership, city property and things like that are high on a lot of people's radar because of the blight. Y'all know we hit any political season, we hit blight and the way that things appear. I don't just want a facade. I would love for our areas to not be depressing. You use the word that I use a lot of times when I'm driving down 2nd Avenue from downtown to Lum and Tuscaloosa. It's depressing as hell. Parts of 3rd as well. So anywhere coming from the city to this middle part of the city, I see what you're saying. What other issues are there though, other than business and buildings and that? What else do we have?
Well, I want what I try to do is connect everything.
Okay.
So connect those things, and then we talk about our youth. We are losing a battle when we went from 1 to 4 in population, the city of Birmingham. So what we have to do is engage our youth and our families that are coming in. And then most of the people, the things that I've named, we used to have. We used to have these things functioning. They're not functioning today. So guess what? You're not going to be attractive to young families. I've even told people that it's just not sufficient to say build housing. And then when you build, let's say 10 houses, but on the 11th house, the house is vacant and overgrown, but you're paying $150 to $200 to $300,000 to the house because it's new.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. They can move to Fultondale, Gardendale, and buy a house, and they don't have to deal with that. We have to be very intentional. That is where I'm different. Birmingham. Let me say with this Western Quarter, the thing it actually has the potential and it brings money to the city of Birmingham. The issue that I think we have is that we're doing a lot of partnerships. Nothing's wrong with that, but we have to take care of home. We have to be very intentional and finish our things at home. Birmingport, that's a project they're working on right now with the state, and Birmingport will be booming. It's in Birmingham. A lot of people don't know it. It's in District 9.
Over the Docena ish.
Yeah, you ride down, but the thing is that I don't have an issue that we did doing Birmingport. My issue is that when you drive to get to Birmingport, look at what you got to go through Ensley.
Yeah.
You got to also go look at what's going on in Wylam. I want to talk about Wylam for a minute. There's a lot of people don't know this. Wylam actually from 2018 to 2023. I used to ask this question to people that go, what was the fastest growing neighborhood in Birmingham? Everybody say Avondale, Crestwood, all that, because that's what we promote. That's what everybody's been promoting. It was Wylam. But look at what Wylam has, the foundation. When you're driving to Wylam, and not think about all the houses. You have a school, state-of-the-art school that sits right there. You have a state-of-the-art library that sits right there. Yeah. You also have a park. You have the churches that are right there. The thing is that means that back in the day, me growing up, when it comes to families and my great grandparents, when it comes to families, what makes them move into a community, it hadn't changed. So what we have to realize as politicians, we have to make it very simple. It's okay to have an amphitheater. It's okay to have protective stadium. It's okay to have Legion Field. But guess what? You got to have plans for your neighborhoods, and you got to have true plans. Some of our neighborhoods have older housing. See, I'm in a unique position running in District 9. You have Westchester, Southampton that's sitting right there. That's beautiful houses, but guess what? We don't promote it. So a lot of young people don't even know that that housing is there. If you ride through Westchester, I challenge anybody. I don't know any new housing anywhere that looks as good as Westchester. I'm gonna put it out there.
What you just said was we don't promote it. So I've never heard anybody promote an area. It would be amazing to hear a commercial on V94.9. I could hear myself saying it. Houses starting at I could hear that. Houses starting at $130,000 in Westchester.
Well, it's gonna be more than in Westchester. Westchester is,
That was just
and
a
it's
nice
in
number, you
Birmingham.
guys. And then I'll say, and it's in Birmingham.
It's in Birmingham.
I hear
And
it.
it's not Avondale, Crestwood.
I'll say that too. And it's not Avondale
Southside.
or Crestwood or even the South Side. I like that.
Yeah.
You got to promote it. So if we don't promote it, people don't know. So that means that marketing works even in politics. So you have to talk about what's in your area to make people want to come.
Yes.
I feel you. Okay.
And let me say
Okay.
something simple they could do right now.
Mhm.
Each council person has a booklet that they give the information to at the neighborhood meetings.
Yeah.
None of this stuff we're talking about is in there.
Oh,
We don't
you're giving
even
them ideas.
wrap around with our Black-owned business in our district. We've seen things come and go. But like I told people in Wylam, I found out Maurice Brown, he owns a barbershop,
Mhm.
the Wing Place in Wylam, and he also has an entertainment place. Nobody on my side of town knew about it until I found out and I started promoting it.
Okay.
So we can do this thing citywide, District 8, District 9, District 7, the whole western side where we know we're struggling. When we also talk about we have to be our own solution, this is something simple.
So politicians can promote as well. Okay, we're learning tonight. What you got, J-Head?
I heard you mention earlier about solution focused and having a plan for the neighbor that has a beautiful home that has an empty lot that has been torn down and it's overgrown, grass, weeds, and trees. If you're elected to serve the citizens of District 9, what would be your plan to eradicate this problem?
So from what I understand and what I've seen, the city of Birmingham in each area, they have the numbers. So I know my plan would be, let's take Pratt City. I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna take Ensley, Pratt City. They're the ones that are simpler that everybody see. In Ensley, we tore down the house. We actually had that going on while I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's time to go to the developers and say, hey, let's build back, because we know they'll come. They'll build because, hey, they're getting ready to go down to Birmingham. They see money, they make a connection. So when they make that connection, and we're also working on one Pratt Park, guess what happens in Pratt City? The investors gonna come. I've never liked the fact that we tear a house down and we just let the grass build up. And then we say it's an overgrown lot. Well, guess what? We tore it down. We need to have a plan.
And we as in who?
Just the city of Birmingham.
Okay.
Because we've been doing it for a while. We know it. Listen, let me say this to everybody that's been in office. They know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna use Ensley, where my family is from. Everybody know it was flooded. The investors came in. They told the families, "Hey, we're gonna buy y'all houses from y'all. We're gonna tear the houses down. We're gonna fix the flood with Village Creek, and we're gonna build back."
Yeah.
So guess what? Richard Franklin District 9. I'm advocating from that day one, because that's what the promise was made in the city of Birmingham at that point in time, and has to be to this day until I see something different. They agreed to it. We've lost population. That's the other thing we have to talk about. Is federal dollars that go with our population that we've lost. We have to talk about these things. So day one. But the other thing I would do is the people that are running, we have to come together. We have similar issues that are affecting our districts. So I'm one vote and one voice. But it's a different when you get to 5 or you get to 6, and we all saying the same thing. Regardless of who's mayor, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna listen to the majority.
Okay. All right, Richard Franklin, District 9 candidate, City of Birmingham. He gave you some of the neighborhoods within that district? Could you shout out a few more of them? So
We got
people can know?
Sipco Finley. We got Hooper City, Evergreen Bottom, East Thomas, where I live, Enon Ridge, Pratt City. When I'm saying Pratt City, I have to break them down because they all lump them in together. When you get to Smithfield Estates,
Mm-hmm.
you got the Westchester, Southampton. They consider all them all together. Now, this is why I'm saying, because I come with my evidence, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
We have actually, it says 19 neighborhoods in District 9, but it's really 20.
Okay.
And when they do the census, they put us all together. And we have 19 neighborhoods, but District 8, who neighbors? They have 12. So that's why I keep saying we are the area in the district that lost the most population.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolomite, Wylam, Ansley, all of them are in my district. North Birmingham.
Now that don't make no sense. Okay.
Fountain Heights, Druid Hills. Fountain Heights, Druid Hills, East Thomas, Enon Ridge used to be in 5. They put everybody in 9 because they're trying to make that population equal out.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's talking about it. That's Richard's talking about it. That's why I'm saying it has to be a comprehensive plan. But also in this process, I'm not just thinking about 9. I'm also talking to my brothers and sisters that are running 8 and 7.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It's affecting them as well.
So the same issues in similar areas of the city, with some of the same reputations as well.
Right.
One thing that you haven't talked about that I do want you to address before we get out of here is crime and violence. It's always a top thought when it comes to who's going to get in there and they know what to do, what to say. What you say about that?
Well, half of the things I talked about, we have to also, let me say this, I've never liked the fact when we blame, or even when the politician, when crime is down, saying crime is down. Because guess what? There's a root issue when a human being takes another human being's life. I think we should have been partnered with the churches through this process, because every time somebody lost their life, was going to a church, letting that pastor hey, we should have been partnered with everybody, the churches. We should have been partnered with local nonprofits.
For sure.
But let me say this also. If you go back to the rec center, the schools, the community, if we start working on these things, we give our kids hope. I think a lot of things that happened to Birmingham, we lost hope. Our kids saw that the investment of what downtown, the South Side, they see it, what it looked like. And then when they come home every day, look at what they go to before they even get in their home situation. Look at the depressing state that we as adults know we feel looking at what we live in. I think when we start there working together as adults, we give our kids hope. I've been telling people they're visual. A lot of the crime and a lot of the things that are going on, they were horrendous. I'm just going to be, like something you saw on TV. So as a politician, I believe we all have to come together and work together. But we also have to put our money where our mouth is for our kids.
Okay.
And that could touch on a lot. But I just wanted to say that because crime is down right now.
Yeah.
But do y'all know the part that politicians won't say? Richard has said I'm running. We don't control crime. Because guess what? In 4 months from now, they could just get depressed and go to killing one another. Because if you go back to the previous year and the year before, there was a time where crime was down.
Mm-hmm.
And we was like, crime is down. So I want us to get past that part of the conversation and get into the solutions. Give our kids and our families options of things to do. If we know that a lot of our kids are growing up in bad households, what are the options we give them? I would often tell people when they're with the school system, after 3:15 or 3:45, what does the city of Birmingham offer to a child in the city of Birmingham?
What?
We used to offer things. We don't have anything we can't guarantee at every neighborhood at that rec center there's something going on because every rec center is not open. We can't guarantee right now if that the swimming pools are open. These are things we have to work on that are imperative. We can't even we need to make sure that every park is cut. If a child wants to go, we need to make sure that every basketball goal has a rim and net up. These are things that we have to make sure we have, because I'm thinking about that child that don't want to go home. And if we don't get them options, they turn into the street. We also cannot forget our young ladies. We got to continue to invest in, we should have never stopped investing in PEEN and all those programs we had, because we had young ladies that also played softball.
For sure.
They were introduced to different sports.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a little bit of it, that It's things that we had before that we don't have.
So I hear you. Like I said, you sound 72. And we are of the same age group. But the fact that you know, like a lot of people our age don't recognize the importance of bringing things back that we had. And I know generations before us say, well, it worked for us, it'll work for them. But in all truthfulness, the things that work for us would definitely work for our young people if they were reintroduced the right way to it.
Well, think about something. If we wrong, what do they have in Fultondale? What do they have in Hoover? Just think about everything we've talked about tonight. They have access to it. I mean, the trails that we talk about, I took my daughter to visit one of her friends in Fultondale, and they had a trail in the neighborhood. They walk healthy in every neighborhood. That's the other thing we have to work on. We talk about being healthy, but I walk with a group of men from Pratt City. We have to go to Railroad Park to walk because we want to walk the neighborhood. We want to walk 5 to 7 miles, not just around one Pratt Park. We tried to walk around Avenue W, and the sidewalks need repair.
Okay.
Is everything on the ground. You start walking through the neighborhoods, that's when you get into the abandoned house, the grass, the dogs. We ain't even talked about the stray dogs. But when you walk on the south side, when you start at Railroad Park, if you go up, you're going toward Avondale. Y'all should walk it. If you
the Rotary Trail.
Yes. And if you go back to your right, you walk up through the south side. These things are connected. This is what I would want for the entire, not just my district, but the entire western side of town.
Okay. So connected to, because there is one in Midfield. There's a part of that trail there, and it's in different places. So we need some connectivity down there in District 9. All right. So give them your information, website information, how people can see more of your plan.
You can go to, first you can look me up on Facebook, Richard Franklin for District 9, or you can just look me up as Richard Franklin. Also, my website is Richard Franklin for District 9. You can also call me at 205-243-4177. Remember, the most important thing that I would say, I want you to vote for me, but on August 26th, make sure you vote.
Yeah.
Because our each election, we're not voting, and especially for our generation, we're not voting. So they're not targeting, a lot of the politicians don't target our generation. So we have to talk about that. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out who they targeting in, because
they call them the super voters.
We are the world, we are the children.
They call them the super voters.
How do they?
50 and above.
Okay.
With voting. Yeah, they know that. So what I believe is that I'm the candidate for District 9.
Okay.
That if you live in any of my areas and you're young, you 40 and below, you understand, you say, hey, he's telling the truth. That's the first thing you have to do. So I need you to vote. I don't need you just tell me you agree with me. I need you to vote. At the end of the day on August 26th, Richard Franklin for District 9 City Council.
This might be the year that I put out a vital votes guide or my suggestions. I may do that this year. All right, you guys, District 9, you have heard one of your candidates right here on the show. I don't know what y'all laughing at. I might do it. And let's go to some of these comments before we get to the next hour. In the next hour, we're going to take this political stuff to another level. Oh my goodness. We're about to be what's the word? Obliterating the airwaves. Let's see. I'm grateful for the change you are trying to bring to District 9. We deserve better. Rashanique, what up? What up? She says, hey, Richard, you get my vote. Good evening to all of the 94.9 listeners. So yeah, be sure to share the show always. Hey, fam, we are listening to you all on the radio. Enjoyed your mental health guests and hearing what they're doing in our city. Enjoying hearing Richard Franklin. I'm very familiar with his positive works in our city and his advocacy and work for public education. This is great. So yeah, political candidates, if you feel like what you have going on needs to be heard in the city with our listeners, with our demographic, which is, I don't want to call us the forgotten demographic or the forgotten generation, because we the ones. We them boys. We the ones. Okay. I said what I said. So make sure that you get all the information that you need. Go to his Facebook page, go to the website, check him out, and cast your vote August 26th. If you're not registered or if you're not sure where you're registered, you can find all of that out as well. As soon as possible. We'll provide the information closer to the date, how you can go and be sure of where you're registered and what district you're in. If you own properties in some of these areas and you want to use that address to vote, we'll see. All right. Mr. Franklin, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Very refreshing.
It was an honor.
Indeed. Very refreshing. We'll make sure that all of your other works, because you're still doing those things too, right?
Yes.
So you come back in here and talk about that anytime. All right. Yeah, y'all, we're getting ready to get into the second hour of the show. More comments are coming in. This one says that yes, he is the one that we need in our city. Someone that's going to get the job done. All right, that's what's up. What you saying?
Amen on a Sunday.
Okay. So the people know, the people are speaking on what they think and what they believe. Hopefully they will speak through their vote as well. I had the honor of hosting a political kickoff, like a rally, a re-election rally for District 1, Councilor Clinton Woods. And I was listening to him talk. I was like, man, this sounds really presidential, congressional, mayoral type talking. I like this. I like the whole energy of this, of his speech and the points and the things that he knew. Like when young men know something, that makes me happy. Like when they really know facts and they really have passion about what it is. Because I mean, we want to be led. We don't, we want to be led. We do. So I'm happy to be able to be in those spaces to hear those sentiments being shared. How do y'all feel about what you've heard and what we've experienced in the past 24 hours? Yeah, I don't feel no kind of way.
I just feel like what it sounds like. I'm speechless. I feel like what we all sound like. I think a lot of people are speechless.
You speechless. You don't know what to
I
say.
am very much speechless because it just the reflection of leadership on the entire country. It's not a good look.
So solution focus right here in the city sounds good.
Solution focus right here in our city should be on a national level.
So are you all nervous or we just what y'all thinking? Just
Ain't
take it.
Nothing too hard for God.
Amen. Amen. Look, off air before you all got in the
Listen.
studio, we were talking to our first guest, Leslie, who's also very much educated in that space, ministry and religion and his all that. And she was just saying how these Israelis ain't the ones that were the ones that we read about. They're not the ones in the Bible stories. They ain't the ones that really need to defend it. I'm like, well, dang. Who's they daddy? Why they like that? Okay, so we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk about Trump. Who is his daddy? We're gonna talk about self. Who?
He does not have to have checks and balances when it comes to
I can't hear you.
In that aspect, he does not have to have checks and balances.
Why he
I
don't?
asked that question because it would make sense. But when he made that decision, he doesn't. You can't check him. Who gonna check me, boo?
Well,
So
we gonna
he can
find out.
honestly say that.
We gonna find out. We gonna find out in just a minute right here on B94.9 WATV. The second hour, all about bombs, not over Baghdad. Not over Baghdad this time, but bombs have been dropped, and we shall talk about it in a minute right here on B94.9 WATV. Hang tight. Did he fall?
It sounded like it.
And we're back. Hour number 2, y'all. Heavy loaded show. So much to talk about. It's a lot. It's a lot. So, y'all, the United States of America, by way of the president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, dropped some bombs. Like, yo. And people are trying to see what, huh? So, just a quick recap. I mean, everybody's talking about it, but when we talk about things, we talk about it from the way we talk about things, which is how I think a lot of people think. So just keep it G. We talk about it for what it is. Israel and Iran. Some people, and then folks don't even know how to say it. We don't even know which one is right. Iran, Iraq, Iran, Iraq. Which y'all call it?
Iran.
See? Iran. Iran. What y'all say?
Whatever come out.
Hey.
Iran.
He ran. They run.
I think
All of them been cranking out.
Iran is the proper pronunciation.
Iran.
But I think I say Iran when I see it.
Oh my goodness. See?
We've been trained to say Iran.
But them people that live there probably say
Iran.
I'm sure they say Iran.
Okay. So see, that's the beginning. This is the conflict. That's a conflict in itself. But the Israel. Ah, their conflict had nothing to do with us. But the president said that the U.S. bombed for peace. If anybody comes shoot my house up for peace, I'm not gonna understand that. That was violent. That wasn't peaceful. What you just did to me. Now I have to retaliate, and it's not gonna be peaceful. That's how this makes sense to me. Okay, it's called Operation Midnight Hammer. That's what it was called, Operation Midnight Hammer, and Iran's nuclear facilities were bombed. The main one, Fordo, is one of 3, and they dropped a bomb on that thing. It was in the side of a mountain, and they said we got to drop a bomb in there to get them to stop making these weapons of mass destruction in here. They're making weapons in here, Eddie, and we got to get in there and stop them. Okay, so they put a bomb in there, and Trump called it a spectacular military success. I said, well, how the hell he know? But that's what he said. He said we obliterated.
He said, how many times did he say
1,576. Man, shut up. And then everybody that read it, they said it 22,000 more times. The United States obliterated it. Shut up. Because they said we can't even. Yeah, the word of the day. Yeah. We can't even see it until the sun comes up, until y'all fly some drones over in it so we can see what's going on. So that's what it was going. That's what was happening. I want to talk about the who, the why, and the what's next. Okay, so since June 13th, Israeli fighters have targeted Iran's nuclear sites. They already been trying to get to it. Eddie, I want to know, why are they trying to get over in there? What's in there?
Get out of there.
What's in there? I don't know.
I don't know. First thing I'm gonna say is everything Israel do got something to do with us, because we funding a whole bunch of stuff they doing, and we sending them weapons. They just so happen to have been using them on Palestine and Palestinians in Gaza.
Yeah.
But now they using them weapons. They use those weapons to attack Iran, because Netanyahu has said this for a long time, that they want different leadership in that region.
Okay.
Now that hasn't traditionally aligned with American interests, which is why Barack Obama made the Iran nuclear deal that Trump ripped up, because he just didn't want whatever Obama did. He wanted to undo it. But what we're seeing now is that those ideals both align. America just want them to not be working towards enriching that uranium as fast as they used to, and them taking that deal away made them start doing it. And so Israel, again, because they enemies and because Israel want them to be destabilized, which they have for a long time, I guess saw this as a moment to attack. Or maybe they see leadership in America as leadership that would do what Trump came to do, which was drop them bombs, because no other administration was going to do this.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a lot of history that goes into this.
Right.
The reality, Netanyahu been telling the world that Iran about to have a nuclear warheads in 30 minutes for the last 20 years.
Where is he? Where's Netanyahu? Where he live?
Israeli government.
Israel. So he's on that side.
It's the
Why
Israeli
you so worried about Iran?
I think they were really just trying to halt. Sorry. I just think the purpose was just trying to halt Iran's production of nuclear weapons, period, to stop them. And that's why they were trying to make Trump rebuild them after he bombed them. They tried to pass something to say, hey, you need to go back and rebuild these things right now. Because nobody told you to do that. They baited him. They really just baited Trump because he's a guy you can bait for ego.
Yeah, but it's got to be more to it. It may be ego, but you don't think it's some type of exchange, some type of.
Has Trump ever needed an exchange to do something?
There's something in there for him.
I think so too.
It's
I think
gotta
you have
be.
something that I don't know what, but it is definitely
A jet,
it is
an
something.
island,
Yeah.
and at the state or at the expense of the people. What it's at the expense. Everything that's happening is at the expense of the people. So Eddie, you say that we have something to do with everything. Yeah, we're having very basic level conversation on this because if somebody can do it better or can make full sense of this and don't make us bored and really teach us how we got here, I want them to call in 994-8949. I was telling you guys before the show started that I've been hearing about, we've seen videos and watched the news late at night for years, and it's always some bombs and fighting over the seas. Always. And I really can't keep up with why y'all, is it the same fight or are these new fights every time? I don't know. I think it's a continuation of the same fights we saw in 92 and 87. Like, what is it about?
I mean, at the end of the day, all of this stuff is about who has the nuclear warheads, who can protect themselves.
Okay.
Which impacts who you have to ally with.
Okay.
Which impacts how you're able to protect yourself, right? And so the Israeli government's objectives, especially the regime change that they want in Iran, this is just the path they on. And they've been on it for a long time. It's just that, like I said, they haven't had anybody in American leadership that was taking the bait for that. And Trump is the first one to in this instance. And I just don't know if now what that means is Trump goes aligned with Netanyahu, or if this is just a situation where he was baited into making this move. Maybe it's possible that he could have been convinced that a regime change in Iran would be helpful some kind of way.
I'm sure.
But it conflicts with him campaigning on being an anti-war president and talking about how he was going to stop all these wars, which is why there's a little bit of split in the Republican Party right now on this move.
I mean, but we know he's not stable, and I'm gonna say I say one thing and do something else. Why not? Like, I do it anyway.
I just really think that most wars and everything overseas has always been rooted or based in their resources, the land, what it sits on, because anything natural, all the natural resources, and then I think nuclear warheads or anything like that is like secondary because they're formulating these things and building these warheads to protect their land, to protect what's underneath the land, to protect the knowledge, the technology. Just like Africa, it's a lot to be protected in the land, period. I think a lot of the wars before that we knew about, Saudi Arabia and all, they were protecting oil, they're protecting gold, they're protecting their ownership of these things because that's what makes the lands rich.
And
is
so
their
we don't
resources.
have those type things. We don't have no reason to be up here fighting like that. So why are we going over there getting off a nice
We got Area 51 and we don't know what's there. So what are we protecting? So it's just all of the wars it's over ownership of their natural resources. It's over ownership of like just their history and the people that live there. And you do get possessive and protective over the things that you've naturally owned since you got here.
Especially
we didn't have the resources to protect ourselves, and things were taken from us.
Right.
And it was okay. We couldn't build nuclear warheads then, but I'm pretty sure a couple of Indians would have been all right with it. Because they were here first, and they didn't have the resources to protect their land and protect what was theirs.
So I like the way like I said, I like the way that we can have the conversation because we make it make sense for your child, your basic listener. Because in my mind, I remember these situations from childhood, and I remember them not being explained. We didn't talk about this in school to understand. Well, the reason that we need to know about this is because of this. No,
we just knew our cousin was being shipped off and deployed.
didn't know, right?
That's
Didn't
the
know
only thing
what
we knew.
for.
We knew about the bases. We knew about junior ROTC. We didn't know what we were fighting for. And that's why, I mean, a lot of people, they shun away from going to the military and the army because you really don't know what you're fighting for. You love your
just
country.
know your job.
You believe in your country and you've been taught to believe in your country and have pride for your country. But what does my country put me on the forefront of? And we don't even understand.
Gas, some oil. Girl, I'm not going to fight people.
Not 93. Now we fighting over 93,
93,
but that's
87,
really
whatever
that's
other
really
one,
the
yes.
truth. These lands are rich. They have natural resources that the United States does not have. And so we have to get involved in everything because we want to be in control of everything.
And this president here definitely wants to be
It's
in control
ego driven.
of everything.
Right.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, not new. It's been going on since Rocky. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
This is the offshoot of the Cold War. It's a stalemate. It's been going on for a while. The land goes back to biblical days. It's the same land.
Same
right?
land.
Same
different
land,
people.
same people.
Oh, same people.
And we're talking about the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
which is really
The Holy Land.
a made-up name.
Okay.
It's Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It connects two continents. It's the middle of the situation. And that nation that we call Israel, not that old, 1949.
Yes. Okay.
So just giving a little context to the people to understand that the American government helped to put that land together to give them that state. That's why they're invested, because they have a vested interest in the East that they call Middle East, but in Africa. And, it's full of everything because it's the mother spot.
Okay.
Right. So when you get to the nuclears, all countries have them.
So let's do this. What is that? What are they? When you talk about nuclear plants, nuclear this, what is that?
Energy, right?
Yeah, it's radiant energy. So all of them have it, but the problem is we're the only ones that ever use them because we dropped 2 of them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right.
So we're quick to meddle in the middle because we have a lot of interest in the middle. But you also have to realize that Iran's, they have a couple of allies that are usually involved in the Cold War still.
Like
China
Russia.
and Russia.
Okay.
So if you can see, he's beefing with Russia, but he loves Putin. But they have this crazy love affair.
Clearly him with everybody.
Clearly.
And so when you fast forward and you look at the Lebanon Connect, you look at Gaza, all these names of these places are the allies of these people that we bombed. Make it make sense. So,
Mr. Trump, if you're tuned in, we want you to call in tonight, like for real. We really want you to explain.
He already trying to move to Tuscaloosa,
station, but it goes a lot deeper, right? It goes a whole lot deeper to who occupies that land and who really should be occupying that land. And I'm just trying to stay because I love Courtney and I love the radio station. But it's a big difference between Jew and Jewish.
Yeah.
Right.
See, pastor should have been preaching about this today. Church should have lasted all day today because I know everybody just is, people do not know. And a lot of people don't like to admit that they really don't understand what the hell is going on.
I've heard most people, they're trying to make the correlation between the beginning of the ending of time.
I mean, it's probably all of that,
and
but I
wars
want to
and
know
rumors of wars. And I'm like, y'all, please, it's Trump.
Yeah, but you,
was,
he got the wand.
And that's loose history and loose interpretation.
Right. So you have to be mindful, and people in social media will spin stuff out of control and cause mass hysteria for absolutely no reason. So I want people to do their own research about why wars begin, why they've always began. And I really think it just has something to do with what the land is sitting on and who has control of what the land is sitting on at the end of the day. Everybody wants control over the natural resources because if you have control over natural resources, you control everything.
Yeah. So the natural resources, you remember on Wakanda.
Vibranium, baby.
That's what they wanted. Right. They wanted it so bad.
It's always, and they, if you want to see if it's the truth, they'll put it in a movie.
Right.
They'll put it right in front of you so you can see
Absolutely.
it. So every war has always been about being in control of the most powerful thing on earth, and that's anything natural. period.
Understand this. History tells
Even
you that
black women.
Republicans-
Girl, why I was thinking that I am
I
that.
like that.
You hear me? You hear me, y'all? Netanyahu.
We're the
Okay.
closest thing to God.
Ooh, amen.
Here we go.
Okay,
Don't
but
be-
still, okay.
don't be no hater,
right.
but-
I'm definitely gonna do that.
But just thinking about what in the world, like what will really make you turn up for something that you would drop a bomb in it, and then now we're all sitting on eggshells, and I'm not sitting on eggshells when I don't know what's going on, but fear will make you do that.
Right.
Is what drives people to go crazy
Right.
because we have no clue. I have
Right.
no clue
And-
what they dropped this thing on.
I mean, this again is not the first time we bombed
No,
the Middle East, and I think we can roll the clock back. Who normally fights when the Republicans get in office? We normally go to war.
they kind of
And
violent.
then there's
huh?
a recession,
Okay, so
Dang.
and then
It's
the
another
economy
distraction.
gets reset.
right, your house is not going to be bombed tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so just calm down. This is a normal for us. Unfortunately, this is why people in the middle and in the east don't like America, because they're always meddling, but they're really trying to debo.
And
The
calling
last
it
time we had
making
this,
peace
it
and
was
helping.
weapons of mass
It
destruction,
sure was, yeah.
and there was no weapons at all.
That was Bin
You
Laden,
just
and
want-
wasn't it?
No, that was Saudi Arabia and Hussein.
They
Saddam
had
Hussein.
weapons
Uh-huh.
of mass destruction and switches hit the street.
Yeah.
I ain't
Mm.
got time.
They wanted oil.
Mm.
It's about oil.
So it was about oil
It's about
then.
About oil.
The Halliburton Group.
Let Eddie tell you, you can 3D print the
Girl,
nuclear
a whole,
weapons.
a whole nuclear weapon.
You can.
And you can.
print everything.
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear me?
All of it.
So this is like, a really serious situation that we may not even have the imagination to fathom because it's been developing over decades,
right.
over
Yeah.
tons of decades with no clarity. Yeah, centuries with no understanding, right? Those who are involved know, and the rest of you just sit by and brace yourself. I said I'm gonna get me a helmet and a bulletproof vest and some bottles of water and be ready.
Look, America been sending these 3-letter agencies to all kind of different countries to destabilize South American countries. Like, this is what America does. This is like, and my politics are shifting from this moment with America's involvement in the Israel and Palestine. And so I'm on a new journey of like where my politics is gonna end up after this.
Mm-hmm.
But this moment don't help at all. Because for somebody, like a lot of the stuff, the problems that Trump causing was predicted. And it being the popularity contest that it was, still allowed him to become the president. Like this the kind of moment where you lose faith in the democratic process for real. Like what has, like this, is this, because something happens after this moment.
Oh yeah.
After this moment, is it that, do the Republicans lose the midterm and the Trumpism go out the window because of what's happening? Do we finna see if they really standing 10 toes down behind what he do because he did it, not because it makes sense or because they wanted it? This might be what ushers in a new shape of politics. I don't know.
They Traumatized now. I heard some interviews this morning. It was all hail President Trump. I'm like, so he single-handedly made this decision. Man don't know how to build nothing, but he dropped the bombs. And that posed the question about the power of Congress. Like immediately. Nobody can stop you from hitting the red button. Like, ain't nobody. There's nobody, no governing body to say, no checks and balances. So before we went to break, Wendy, you said that your research has said that he didn't have to ask.
He didn't have to ask because if he did have to ask, it wouldn't have happened.
Why you say it's Donald Trump, girl?
I know, but if he had to ask about something like that, you are bombing a nuclear plant, and you bombed 3. Bloop. So something would have happened.
The
And it
thing
didn't have
is,
to be
like,
checked.
Trump just don't play politics normal. Any other president would have gone through Congress to do this. Now, don't get me wrong. There are carve-outs to where a president can act unilaterally when they have to. But Trump, before he did this, said, we're going to wait 2 weeks and see what happened. That's not I need to make this decision today type of decision.
You know
This
what? I
is
changed my
something that
mind. I'm going to do it now.
That could have went to Congress. And so, yeah,
Yes.
I think Trump is showing us how useful the Supreme Court and Congress actually are
Oh my.
when it comes to somebody who ain't willing to play politics.
So, questioning the president's authority, Article 2 of the Constitution versus Article 1.
Correct.
And
You don't have to.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to,
Yeah.
but it's my
the
understanding
courtesy.
is really backwards. So like he doesn't have to have authority to do what he just did.
But you got to have authority
But
to go
if
to
it's
war.
an imminent threat on us, then he has to have approval.
It's imminent, dude. Okay,
Who
so
gave the authority that he didn't have to go to prison? Whose authority was that? Because
well,
you letting a felon make decisions like
Well,
this.
that's the Republican Supreme Court that basically ruled that whatever the president do,
I know, but
while he the president, I mean,
he
ain't
was
gotta-
a felon
gotta get no
first.
consequences.
He was a felon
Mm,
first
mm.
before he became president again. So
So yeah, so
oh, never mind.
just kind of going back to the Congress, the War Powers Resolution Act which happened pretty much as a result of Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, as the commander in chief, he can send, but they have 90 days till he gives Congress an official report. And in the 90 days, because the legislative branch is who controls the money, wars cost money. So in that phase, in that stage, he has to get an official keyword declaration of war.
I want to make an amendment that that a political the president needs to have military experience.
You know, a lot of people. Okay, so a lot of people feel that way. That
Yeah.
would be informal, right? There's only 3 qualifications for.
I want to add
for
it
those
amendment.
for that position.
Yeah.
You got to be 35.
Yeah.
You got to live in the United States for 14 years.
Yeah.
And you got to be natural born.
Okay.
That's it.
So
35 natural
35
born and
natural
what,
born
5 years?
citizen, and you got to live in the United States for 14 years.
14 years.
I just want
Everything
to.
else is an informal or custom,
Like white
culture,
man type
social,
thing,
all that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to kind of rewind.
Okay.
Everybody's want to know why we're fighting, but I just kind of want to rewind. Okay, so
Mhm.
we know to take it backwards. So this was the end all be all. You know, when you made such a huge mistake and fumbled over something so bad
Hmm.
that you just have to make this imminent decision to bring things back in sync, right?
Yeah.
So you fought with the terrorists first. You messed that up.
Girl. Okay.
It was a cluster. And I
Okay.
can't say the other part of that because it's on the list. Okay. But so you've messed up so bad that you know the only way that you can bring the economy back is war. And usually this is how it starts. You have a war, we go into a recession, the market goes back up afterwards,
Mhm.
and then we're fine. Everything's back okay. You
So
know?
just like in relationships,
Just
I know
like-
I messed up so bad. Let me go ahead and start a fight right
Let me
quick.
go ahead and start a fight real quick.
And then let me
The price, because the price, what I know to be true, the price of steel and things like that, things that keep the United States running and thriving, plummeted.
Mm-hmm.
It was down. But now guess what's gonna happen? When you get ready to declare war, guess what happens? The price of steel goes back up.
Miss Sonia said he is the commander in chief of military. Yeah, and ain't been in it. I don't want to be the commander in chief of something that I
Right.
have no knowledge of.
So I do think that this war would probably be the end all be all of him trying to reset things because you've messed
Because you
things
messing it up.
so
You keep messing it
bad.
up
You
and just moving to the
keep
next
messing it up.
thing. Okay.
So let me just go ahead and just set it on fire.
Oh, Wendy, that's
It's a
horrible.
distraction for his big bad budget.
Right.
The big beautiful bill.
So let's just
I'm sorry,
disguise it
that's
in
what- that
war.
was the middle. Big bad budget.
Right?
And
BBB.
It's going to
Triple
take our
B.
attention away from what's going to happen.
And not the Better Business Bureau. Not
Oh,
Big Bad Bird.
ooh, none of that.
I'm
Big,
sorry.
big Birmingham
it is a
book.
big beautiful, but it's big bad because it's giving wealthy tax cuts.
Right.
That's going to pay. That's going to pay off for us.
Y'all
In a
killing me.
major bad way. And it's going to take
Okay.
our attention off of it. Guess what? We put it in the news. Now you're all paranoid. Now you're all in fear. You're not going to function. Your mind is not functioning properly, so you can think about what's really about to happen in the next couple of months because it's about to go down.
So how? Well, we won't even
Not
get
play
into that
Pastor
shit.
Troy, huh?
Yeah, I said we won't even get into that. I was gonna say how can we prepare for that, but I think more of it is gaining the knowledge and getting the education on what is really happening.
And not panicking.
that too,
Pull
Just
back.
don't panic.
but definitely being aware, like
Right.
knowing what's happening, having some type of knowledge of what's happening. Like my teaching style is to, not make light of things, but really dig in from a very rudimentary ground level of knowledge. Like let's get in at the very basics and then work our
Okay.
way up. That's how I teach and that's how I
Alright.
learn as well. So like now I know that we're dropping nuclear bombs, but I want to go all the way back to figure out when it started. I saw something as early as like 18 some. I was like, that's a lot to read tonight, and I got something else to read. But it's that important because I don't want to be making I don't want somebody said that we are already being led by the blind. Okay. So I would love to know and love for my listeners to know how we got here. Mr. Robert says there will be a retaliation. Should we be checking our doctor's country of origin, and can we safely buy chicken wings from the service station?
I ain't got time.
And I mean, it makes sense. Like, you never know which way we coming. So you talk about chemical threats, nuclear threats, and yeah, like it's COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
But what was the one? Cyber attack. So you got
Mhm.
Russia in it. You got China in it.
Mhm.
What y'all? Talk
Look,
to me.
Iranians that live in America ain't about to spray your chicken wings with chemicals at the corner store. This is their livelihood. Like, this is not.
But for the mission, for a greater cause, they
Yeah,
did
I may
send
be
a
a
plane
martyr.
into Twin Towers. I mean, it's for the greater good. At the end of the day, that's who they're a part of.
Mm.
And they have those type of people in their religious backgrounds. They are committed to their religion.
Yeah,
and
they,
their
they
people.
leave that up to the U.S.
Yes.
doctors. They do
Yes.
that. We don't have to count on the foreign people.
Man, y'all. Yeah, I mean, so you.
It is a time to. It's a time to educate,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And so,
And to
at
think.
base level, you got to deal with the basics because again, people don't understand the jargon. So when you come to what Trump is trying to do versus what's really happening, just pull back. Look at what's
Pull
really
back.
happening. Look at the timing of that happening. What's really going on? And so nothing is new under the sun. This has all happened before.
Okay.
There will be a response because they do have good allies. So there will be a response.
Mm-hmm.
To my research, he didn't even tell Britain until the last minute. So this just kind of goes back to his power and what he likes to do, and that's basically Debo.
Whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Let me be clear with the last comment. Are we saying that we think that the people from the Middle East that are over here are radicalized sleeper agents that will harm us
Some
if
could
what's
be.
happened to their country
Some could be.
is
Talk
bad
on
enough?
them.
Where your loyalty?
Some could be.
What I'm saying is that's happening here.
Anyway.
already.
Even if that's the case,
Try to
I
go to
just don't
doctors
think
that look
they
like
gonna
you.
be. I don't think they're gonna be doing that to Mr. Walker on a Thursday when he come to get some fried chicken from the
Okay.
gas station.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what
That might be a little less crispy, but
you know what I'm saying.
So
Like,
you all are very much convinced that all is well and all will be well.
I think all will be well for us.
How and why?
They don't want us. You ain't got nothing.
if America wanted to harm Iran, then that could have been done before. This is an Israeli objective.
Okay.
And America's done got pulled into this because of Israel. Like, if we can get, if they a heart to heart to Israel from America can happen and be like, hey, y'all need to chill out. Y'all already been tripping on Palestine, but now y'all doing too much. And Israel be like, okay, we out. I don't think it has to escalate. Like, don't nobody want this. Nobody want this war. Well, Russia really ain't gonna be able to participate like they should. But like, Iran got allies. They got people who, if it goes too far, they on paper gonna have to kick in. Nobody wants this situation.
Okay.
So are we talking World War III? Do y'all really believe we're there?
Could be. I think Trump is capable of manufacturing World War whatever. I want to hear from Marshall.
I think so.
I do, yes. And so this is why I want to hear from her, because these are the conversations that, a real conversation. Somebody may say this is ignorance, and ignorance is when you don't know.
Okay.
So what we're doing is exchanging information and opinion, because ain't nobody from the military called in and said nothing. No Congress
No, that's
people
why
have
I'm asking
called
the
in.
question.
So we,
here's a great advantage of the United States.
Mhm.
This part, North America.
Yeah.
Centered by water.
Okay.
Right. There are no allies within the United States borders for them. So where are they going to set up? Where are they going to infiltrate? So it will have to be nukes, right? It have to be long range missiles that gives them access to even get close to the continent. This was planned in many of the policies and doctrines of the presidents, right? Starting with Monroe all the way down.
Okay.
James Madison, all the boys, right? So we can go there and fight because we have allies in those territories. That's a huge part of why Israel is there.
Mm-hmm.
But if they come over here, where are they gonna go?
They're gonna do 9/11.
That's about it. That's the only way you can attack.
Drive through a
doing
crowd
long-
at it
you know,
again.
you can hit Hawaii,
Okay.
right?
Hey.
I'm just
Hey.
breaking down the fears because people,
Yeah.
And
you know,
Hawaii gonna see it coming from a long
but we
way.
gotta
Long way.
we gotta use facts to break down the fears, right? So
We got military
asking.
bases all over the world that can be targeted.
That's what I was saying before the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
We would know whether somebody had the intent to harm us here
Uh-huh.
by how many of our bases around the world that they will harm before. So the intel would show before it gets to somewhere here being bombed that it could come to that.
Okay.
I don't think that's something that anybody got to worry about tomorrow while they're for lunch.
that's
You know?
that's kind of what I'm trying to
So
just
cool.
come into
Yeah.
just come into grips with the fear that because I saw it today
Mhm.
live and in living color, right?
Okay.
You know, people are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And hey, God is still God.
Amen. Let's go to this comment right here. Facts. World War III, martial law, and another term. That's his agenda. Simply a buffet of foolishness.
Hey, Auntie.
I like that comment. So, Marshall, I love to always get your perspective out of another generation about these topics and these things that we're experiencing. What does it sound like to you?
For one, I would like to state that I am not very knowledgeable on this topic at all. So
Right.
as y'all are speaking about it, I'm learning things that I wasn't aware of before, but I do feel like I think it's scary, but I think it was bound to happen. So it's not very shocking because we know exactly what we're dealing with as far as like the president goes, but it does just make me wonder like is this what people want for like our world, like all this negativity, you know, like the deportations, ICE, war, like why do y'all want so much destruction in the world? And then people think it's like you're fighting for like bigotry and hate, like you don't want peace and love. Like what do you gain from all of this?
More money, more money,
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah. But I will say, like, as long as I've been aware, I've always heard like peace in the Middle East. So it's like I've always
Yes.
known something goes on over there. I'm just not certain of exactly what it is.
And you and
It
I
don't
are
look
together.
like peace,
Yeah.
do you?
No.
It sure ain't peace.
We are on the
like,
same
they've been
Why
page.
didn't we ever say that?
Like, and Kristen, that is my point. If she's a whole nother generation still wondering the same thing I was wondering, like peace in the Middle East, Michael Jackson over here making videos, crying in the bomb street. Yes. What is the nobody knew to explain that to us. Then after a
They
while,
got rid of him.
yeah, right. Yes. Then they started talking about the bushes and oil. It's always about some oil. Then that's so it's about we do know it's about resources. But I think what the thing is for a lot of us is how do we be getting in it? Like Wendy, if you going to fight your ex homegirl, don't come pick me up because you did this. I'm not coming. I'm not riding with you to get involved in that, Wendy.
Just what if all these wars were about protecting or masking history?
Go deeper.
I'm just saying, if we knew truly who we were as a people,
Okay.
I think people are really willing to cause fights and wars to keep the history from us. They just found all this technology underneath the pyramids. This was so advanced to the point where we are shocked that this was beneath the pyramids.
Yeah.
This type, whatever kind of structures they were that go that far in the ground. This is the stuff that these people try to hide and protect. It's so many things that have been hidden and fighting and wars to protect the things that we don't know are even happening or has happened.
Right.
So, like I said, the past, our history, the natural resources, it's enough to cause a war.
Money,
Because
power,
these people have
respect.
they have fed this narrative to us that we aren't who we are. We're not the most powerful people on earth, So it's really about that. It's
Okay.
about control. It's about the money, and it's about our history. They will fight and cause wars to keep us from knowing who we are.
And when you say us and we, you mean who?
Black and brown
The
people.
the
Okay.
black and
People
brown
of
people.
color.
Okay.
Because it's really, if you took your time to dedicate to write a book
Mhm.
to describe a people and change who they are in the scripts, in the history, in our books, period, you would do anything
Okay.
to erase whatever we feel about ourselves or whatever's true. So you think launching or starting a war on a nuclear plant is something? That is just a cover up. All of this stuff is a cover up just to keep us from knowing the truth.
Mm.
If these people really knew who they were, and the problem is they know who they are. And that's why they want us to stay out of the middle of it.
Guys.
Because they think we've lost our identities anyway. We were transplanted over here. Y'all don't know who y'all are anyway. Y'all are being led blind, leading the blind. So y'all need to stay over there because y'all already lost. We know what's going on over here in the Middle East, what they're calling it now. These people know exactly what's going on.
They're at home. They
never left.
They are privileged enough to have that knowledge to want to protect it and fight for it.
Right.
Cool. Understood.
Right. But we
but
try to get in the middle of it.
Right.
You know what comes to mind right here?
Right.
There's one, a video, and then two, a song.
Okay.
Made by the same person. And
David Banner.
And that's the gospel recorded by Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
Yeah.
The video is where he talked about Donald Trump, named him specifically.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And then the song, and he specifically states, you got money for wars, but can't feed the poor.
Mm-hmm. Because we're going to cut Medicaid. We're going to take food stamps.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what's really going on. The cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to Section 8, the cuts to food stamps, the groceries that are going up, not down, the recession, the stagflation that's been about to happen and enter into a recession. These are the things that are imminent. He's mad with the Fed chair. He's mad. He's just mad, right?
Just mad.
So I'm more worried, and
It's
I don't think
mental
nobody
health.
want to say
Yes.
this, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
go and say it tonight. I'm more worried about him having the touch of the button than I am about Iran retaliating.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
They got rid of Tupac too.
They got rid of all of them. Anybody that knew the
So I'm gonna go
truth,
crack.
they said if you want to hide
y'all
something
be-
from anybody, put it in a book.
We all out.
You know, and I feel like if we did read more and research more,
We would be in a better position.
we
So-
would be in a better position, and we
Okay.
would have a basis. You know,
Okay. 9948949. What are your thoughts?
kumbaya, my lord.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? DQ, what up?
Who else they got rid of?
What up? Because I see what Kristen is on.
Who else have they gotten rid of? She ready to tell us. Who else have they gotten rid of?
Long range
Illuminati,
missiles,
all through your body.
long range missile capabilities. Russia, Iran, India, and Pakistan, China are the allies. So with all of those people, or all of those places, all of those places feed into the United States of America. So whatever comes will directly affect something that we need. It may not blow our house up, but it'll definitely affect something that we need. Another comment. You said something. Tupac had wisdom. The enemy is already in this country. I believe that attack is going to be on our power grid and our communication. If China helps Iran look out for cell phones to be affected, I'm just saying Trump trying to sell his phone too. What? And I thought about that. You know, like because we take everything so lightly. Oh, it can't happen here. That's not gonna happen to me. I'm right here in Ensley. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I don't think like that. Anything can happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a flip of a switch and none of us can communicate. So then how we going to, what sense do we have on who to pull up on, how to check on people, what to do next?
What are these walkie talkies?
I got some in storage, but they going to tap the line. Oh,
Comms cut.
yeah. The show ain't no show. They done infiltrated the airwaves and you go all day. You don't even know what's being said.
What is gonna sound like?
What is that? What is that on the show? And it'll just be going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We got it all day.
We had a radio.
It's a wrap. It's gone. All the apps. Ain't no Facebook. Ain't no TikTok dive and edit. You can't do that. All of it's gone.
No
We have
more rabbit holes to go down.
No, we have hacked it all. So now what y'all gonna do? Hope Victoria little garden lasts long.
We growing.
Hope y'all know how to bring some chicken necks.
Snap beans. We rolling.
Y'all know we end up talking about this way a lot. We end up talking about survival,
Right.
not thinking that we were going to really be talking about it in terms of like in 6 months, Trump them gonna blow some. We didn't say that, but what plan do we have?
We didn't have to say it.
Oh, we already knew it.
The evidence of how uninformed this person was, and the people that he was putting in his cabinet as uninformed as they was, and they running a country, you can deduce that something finna go bad. I mean, I don't know, like there's something underneath the conversation that we was having that always led us to having to survive.
Every show.
Because
good times.
He put everybody in office. He made a did a party.
Oh.
On Epstein Island.
Everybody that was on
Epstein
Epstein Island is in office. They got rid of him.
Well, okay, y'all let. All right.
Who they got rid of?
All right.
All of
Everybody. Eddie, what would you say? I ain't going nowhere. I ain't been no party. This comment right here says, have a family meeting and let everyone know where to meet if something has to happen.
Yeah.
Cool, right?
I agree. And that's what we need to be talking about.
And that's what right. So we're talking about how we got here politically. But then the conversations about, well, what do we do? Do you start backstocking your meds? Like what you start doing? You start collecting rainwater and boiling it. What's your thoughts?
All that.
First of all, we need to.
Do we have a bunker?
We need to, as a collective, get land.
Okay.
As a collective, that's the first thing you need. Everything else will come. You need the land to do everything, because the land is where you're going to have all your resources.
Okay.
You're going to be able to grow your food and have networks and different families. Put me a trailer out there. I don't even need much. Just put me.
So like on
Tiny homes.
Yeah.
You have to build your own communities. And it's what's so crazy is these people, anybody running, we have to build our own communities again. We want the Black Wall Street so bad, but as a collective, can we just rally together, use our own money, and build our own communities?
Yeah, and
we're not the same Black people from before, and I hope people understand that we're not the same. You come over here and you try to burn something down. We got nuclear. We got switches.
Those are nuclear weapons.
We need to put these young people to work. You got all this anger built up. We're gonna let you be in our military.
Okay.
But
like
you gotta use. You gotta be useful.
You
can't be used. You ain't useful.
But
Okay.
how do people get into the safety mode when they're stuck in survival mode?
Give them a role and make
Like,
them
how
feel
do-
important.
How do we twist the conversation to get there when I'm barely being able to buy bread and milk? Right. So like this is real. Like people out here struggling.
Yeah.
I feel like being
we are
the
the
same
people.
way people are brainwashed to give that money to that church, or I mean, no offense, but the same way. The same way people are brainwashed to do other things, you make people feel important enough, they'll do anything.
Yeah, but then
as long as you give them hope,
yeah,
and you have results.
But
Read the
then
report
I need
card.
to know what I need to know what is the plan? Who is the leader? What do we, so that's always the thing on these conversations with different perspectives. And
I believe Black
what
Panthers
is that?
did it back in the day.
Okay.
They were organizing, but it had to be a collective. It had to be in unison. It had to be people thinking the same thing and having the same agenda. And when you organize, you get things done. Now, they probably might try to deport us too if we start organizing.
For sure.
Because it's powerful when you have everybody thinking on the same frequency. And you have more than one person and people in positions of power doing it.
8949-994-8949 is the number. Get in on the conversation, whatever part of the perspective you may have, whatever your thoughts are. Get
We
in
need
on
to go
that. Get in on that.
Going to Ghana.
Hold on. Do y'all remember all the memes that came out about the Simpson thing?
It's one about this.
And the lady in the purple suit ended up having to save the world. Do y'all remember that? It was Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala said we were gonna be at
and
war
she said he was.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You just said it's like all in the media. Like they put it in front of our face.
It's great. I mean, well, it's planned. It's already planned.
They're puppets.
That's why he's in office.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have put a lot of but a lot of times on The Simpsons, somebody draws that up and then posts it. Like it was like, you remember that? No, we don't. You just drew that. Somebody just drew that up and put that out.
Mm.
The show happened.
Yeah. He can't deport us. He would have done that already. 994-8949. I'm giving you
Oh.
space to get in on the conversation. We want to hear your voice, and especially if you feel like you know something about how we got here, what the history is behind it, and then what you think a solution is. I want to hear that from some of our listeners who are tuned in tonight. What the
I
hell
want
are
to know
we
why he
fighting
can't.
for?
I want to know why he can't deport us.
Mm.
All they gotta do is say we Haitian. Pick us up.
There's
they
gonna be a
doing.
lot of 23s and me's coming out.
Somebody else just said they
Man.
can't deport you. So what can we
What
do?
I'm saying, you ain't gonna have that 23 and me when that van pull up with them masks on. with
And
them
you'll have to
black
fight
suits.
for it, right? You had to fight for it. And all I can say is I'm from Alabama. I can't tell you what kind. Even 23 and me,
Man,
what?
I was born at Lord Nolan.
And I was straight out of Cooper Green, right?
Cooper Green.
Yeah, I was born right there in Lord Nolan.
So listen
Yeah,
to this
man.
one, y'all. So what can we do if everything is already planned? Thank you, DQ. 20 or 30 years in advance. If it's already planned 20 or 30 years in advance, what can we do?
Start planning. Never too late.
Okay. So start planning.
Now. Yeah.
Okay.
We should be already planning. That's the problem.
What are we planning?
We're planning for our survival.
I mean, and people they're putting it in our face. Dual citizenship.
Okay.
It's really a thing now. And they're offering you dual citizenship.
Straight Ghana.
I probably go
Let
to
me
Kenya.
let me say this to it's a comment that said they
Ethiopia.
can't deport you. I'm not saying that we all can just get scooped up by the people now.
Yeah.
But there are some Latino American citizens that thought they couldn't get picked up.
Right.
And it's because the way that this narrative have been shaped, it's made a lot of people indifferent to Latino people being picked up. And so we are not beyond that indifference existing for us. It already exists for us as Black people.
Mhm.
There's a lot of indifference to Black existence. There's a lot of anti-Blackness coming from every single culture.
Even Black.
I mean,
yeah. Mhm.
The white nationalist agenda that Stephen Miller and all of the cronies around Trump implement, like, I'm not saying that they can just scoop us up today, but they are setting the foundation for brown people to be able to be picked up at some point. And to me, I think picking up all these Latino people and sending them wherever is part temperature check.
And they come
Because
right
we know that some American Latino citizens who have a license, who've been here their whole life,
Right.
are getting picked up and sent somewhere, and ain't nobody asking no questions about it.
Speaking of which, did y'all see the video with them down on the south side?
Yeah, UAB.
Since
Yeah.
we didn't meet last week, I figured we slide it on
What
in.
happened?
They went to UAB
Mm-hmm.
and ICE did.
Mm-hmm.
And people were running everywhere.
Back of trucks.
I just don't understand how, and I might be, slow for not knowing, but how are they able to have employment and not be?
Am I self-employed
Listen,
working for my homegirl?
All of them, yeah, they got green cards.
Payment disabled?
But everything that Trump has done, if you keep zooming into where the problem is, it's corporate America. When it comes to tariffs, NAFTA, they took their companies over there to save money. Why we got to pay for it? RFK, when it come to him trying to get changes for what's in the ingredients, you have to create regulations for companies and corporations to do something different. So instead of saying, hey, let's make sure that these corporations are practicing ethically with the law, within the laws, instead of saying that, instead of going after the corporations or creating regulations, they just go after the people that's at work while they at work, because they don't want to actually stop. They just want to scare anybody who would come here from being here. They want to scare anybody from being in public from being in public.
Yeah.
And you know what? Within all of those Latinos running, if there are any American citizens that's working in that, they got to run too. They got to run too.
My.
Because they will get picked up because they in proximity to people that are illegal, and the people ain't going to believe them. When they pull out a license, they're going to be, oh, that's fake. They just going to assume those things. That's why it was always a problem, because they got to use their eyes to determine if those people are legal or not. And when you use your eyes to determine, with no other metric to figure out if somebody is legal or not, you're just gonna pick up everybody around them that look like them.
Man, it gets crazier and crazier by the moment. Y'all just found something else?
No, we didn't find anything. I
But
was
they
just trying to make
getting
sure
rid of them
Eddie
too.
was saying make sure your tan is perfect.
Yeah, because I'm like, look, what?
Make sure you get tanned out there so they won't pick you up.
But they may still, because you do have, like, they've been targeting Haitians. Remember during the campaign, we were eating dogs and like we out here. They didn't want us in parts of Alabama.
Again, all back to
Those my
the
cousins.
fear tactic.
Don't
Create
play with me.
chaos. It's
I'll be
fear.
real.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, but
All right. Black people will not be deported because the U.S. cannot survive without racism.
Facts.
I like
Good
that
point.
statement. Yeah, like it can,
That's facts.
but can't survive without racism. That institution there.
See?
Okay, that
Yeah,
good- that institution
capitalism,
there.
but it can't survive without capitalism. The
Mm.
system is communism with another name.
And we're the biggest consumers.
Are y'all familiar
not
with
only that,
KB
but-
Lane?
Who's gonna work?
KB,
They
yes,
ain't.
yes. For the
Who gonna work?
influencer,
Influencer, popular TikToker, at one point had the most followers on TikTok.
Mhm.
He got deported.
don't even talk,
He got deported.
Mhm. He got deported.
and he just decided to
Because
stay.
I mean, his visa expired. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right. His visa expired. They targeted him and they picked him up like they've been picking up everybody. But the difference is because of his status, they gave him an option to leave voluntarily, and he left voluntarily.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Okay,
nowhere.
well, get your paperwork right
and-
then.
but-
You
and
making all this
also
money,
said-
U.S. dollars.
And also said, I don't want to be somewhere where I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
That was a statement that was made.
But okay, I get that. But you can't go that route when you know there's a process to be here.
Mhm.
Just like it's a process for anything. You can't say, "Oh, they don't want me here." You've been here. You've made money. You've become an influencer. That's why
Yeah.
they gave you an option
Mhm.
because they saw that you were utilizing yourself while you were here.
So he should have said his affairs in order.
You should have just had your
But the
affairs in
information
order.
the information that I don't have that wouldn't make a difference here is that if he was actively in the process of waiting for it, they would have done the same thing.
And
Because
like-
they're doing it to people who are going to the courts. On their court dates, they are going to the courts and picking them people up
Right.
as they're doing the actual process that you're supposed to
Oh,
do.
we didn't say we wasn't dirty.
I'm just saying.
we
Well, I'm
didn't.
just
We
saying,
never
I don't
said
know
that.
if he would- I
It's
don't
been
know if-
proven that the U.S. is dirty,
I guess
and we
I-
play dirty
I
business.
just in response to what you're saying, I just don't know if I don't know if he had it together but was waiting, or if he just didn't have it together at
Yeah.
all. Once
Or
your
it
visa
expired.
expires, it still
Yeah.
take a long time for it to get
Or how-
whatever
So
it
there's
is.
no
he
process
is or
before
anything.
it's about to expire to go ahead and get it into place so it doesn't expire.
Yeah, but they just take it takes a long time, and it's
Okay.
probably by design.
Yeah, I mean,
because we dirty.
yeah, it's all about design,
Okay.
right? So whatever the case may be, that happened to him, and just as dark as he is, anybody else can get picked up. We can all get picked up.
I mean,
Get your paperwork right. It's the comment from DQ, and I agree with that. We talked about that with the mayor of the city. So no matter how you span any of this conversation, locally, nationally, whatever, all of the same rules apply. Handle your business, get your paperwork in order, know your rights, all of that. All the same things apply across the board. Timothy said you can't even get in UAB without the right paperwork. So they say. So yeah, you just gotta be, try your best to be prepared with everything you need. Get you a little folder when you get your
Y'all start flooding the Jefferson County. I mean, the health department. The people
trying to
from
get with
Inslee.
a birth certificate.
Don't
stuff.
go down there spending them $12 trying to get another birth certificate. You are not in danger.
Get your paperwork in order.
Look, don't be trying to go.
Get your
Y'all ain't
paperwork
had
in
that
order.
Social Security card for 10 years.
Get it now.
Y'all got that copy.
It's free. Get it.
They get it to file them taxes though, don't it?
Whatever you need to do.
And look, if you're a goon
Whatever
listening
you
to
need
this,
to
you better
do.
chill out on that crime because he say he gonna go after the homegrowns too.
And deport. Where they going? We
Send
sending
them
them.
El Salvador.
That sounds like a vacation. Hey.
That's what that man said.
Get over
Okay,
his
not
dog,
it ain't
get
good.
his head cut bald and put on TV.
So the conversation tonight, a couple of things that you should have picked up is that a lot of people really don't know what the hell is going on. So the question of the night, what the hell are we fighting for? And then the vice president said that we're not fighting. We are not at war. That's what he said. Do you trust JD Vance? He said we're not at war. This is not a war against people. This is a war against their nuclear power.
I mean, they don't want that. That's evidenced by Trump saying, "Hey, we bummed you, but we can still make a deal." Like that's not a power move. And so, if Trump ain't making a power move, it's because he don't. It's against the best interest of whatever he been told.
Okay.
So to bomb somebody and then be like, "Nah, we chilling," like
that's what he said.
Nah, we were just playing.
Yeah, like I'm inclined to believe
That's what he
that
said.
like they at least believe we ain't at war. I think it just depends on what Iran do that escalates stuff.
All right. So we're waiting. We're watching and waiting. We've shared several different pieces of perspective about this conversation. I will never be one to tell people to not be prepared. Whatever it is that you think you have to do to be prepared for whatever situation you may be facing, be prepared. Don't ever feel bad about your level of preparedness. I had a life-changing situation, a couple of them to occur, and those situations taught me how to be prepared moving forward. Got stuck in the freeway. on the freeway in an ice storm. Didn't have tennis shoes in my car, so therefore I could not save myself as soon as I could have if I would have had shoes and socks. After that, I started keeping shoes and socks in my car. Didn't have food, didn't have water. After that, I started keeping crackers and water in my car. There are so many things that have happened to us that we watch happen, and then we don't adjust. We don't believe it. And so then we get caught slipping again. Why would you get caught slipping again?
It's God's grace.
Okay.
Okay.
God thinks you're stupid for
Right.
not trying to do
Because
something.
I gave you a warning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I done showed you one time.
Yes. So prepare, whatever that looks like. If you're not registered to vote, you don't know where you vote, go do that. That may be a part of your preparation. Clean your house up. Wash your clothes. Fold them up. Get the size
Get
of your
therapy
bed.
to treat that ADHD.
All of these. Come on, Wendy. All of these things. Clean out them old canned goods and replace them with some new ones because you're going to need them. All the things.
Pour that milk out.
Everything. Clean that tub because you better bunker in there. Come on here. Just trying to help you. I just wanna help
Throw out them seasonings that's stuck
No,
to the.
I'm keeping that.
No,
And I'm
them
gonna use a
seasonings when they get
toothpick and
hard.
scrape them up. That scrape that. Oh, that don't get old. That date is only on there because they want you to buy some more. We're gonna scrape that.
Ooh, you
Scrape
seasonings still bland. Them seasonings don't.
They don't work.
They
Oh, they
don't
lose.
work.
They lose flavor.
They lose potency.
Look, do what you got to do to prepare, even if it's just for tomorrow. Be prepared. You know what you need to do. You know what the people around you need to do. And I know for me, with my family being small, but then everybody being somewhere older, I want to make sure that they are able to move around the way that's needed, or either we can meet with them. Like we coming to your house, whatever that looks like. Plan and prepare. Pay attention. Plan, prepare, pay attention. Period. I don't you like them P's right there. That's how I like that. I like to write and talk like that. Alliterations. Eddie. Anything else we should be looking out for or talking about this week?
I mean, that's
just watching.
This has just been so jarring, man. Just self-informed. Like I said, for me, all this moment that started to shift my politics. So I'm really just asking myself, what do I believe? Where do I get in on understanding what's going on in foreign policy?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to understand right now.
Yeah, foreign policy. That's big.
I mean, what I'll say is for at this moment, for what it is, going back to what Hat was saying, don't alarm yourself now. It's plenty of time for you to become overwhelmed about what's going on and about informing yourself. Continue to focus on your mental health. If you get overwhelmed, take a break from this stuff and just make sure that your cup is full enough to consume the stuff that you consuming in this moment.
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
Y'all, please do not go buy all the tissue.
Not the tissue.
Not the tissue.
Yeah, we ain't got.
We're not gonna focus on tissue this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna come up with a list. We're gonna do a lot of vital things. We're gonna do voting lists. We're gonna do a preparation list because vital. The word itself means essential. These are the things that you may need to know and have to survive, and that's what it is. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna help you out, and you're gonna help us out. If you know something we don't know, share that information. Lady Woo at myb949.com on all social media. Watch Woo work, and we working. We are working. All is well. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, 12 noon, for the free lunch flashback right here on B949 WATV. Y'all be vital. Have a great night.